And the state kind of takes this idea and they presume that you want their rules. And that's the concept that allows it to exist. But self-determination, if you ask any lawyer, they'll be able to explain it to you, allows you to bypass this, because as an individual you have the right to choose what laws apply to you and what don't. But the only thing that allows it to exist is your voluntary choice to kind of accept it to be yours. That's why they use force, that's why they use a lot of, I guess, violence, any means necessary to push those laws for you to accept it. So moving forward, this is a citizenship registration done on the blockchain using BitNation, and since then she has been known to be the blockchain ID, you can see there. This is a birth certificate done, and another one, and how it was done in code, you can see it all there. So once it's registered onto the blockchain, you'll be able to access it anywhere. And this allows you to bypass the existing facilities, such as in Africa, where they can sell land to number of people across different, across different members. Sorry, they can sell the land to numerous members. So double spending in the terms of land or ownership can be prevented by using the blockchain technology. And this is what Bitcoin itself prevents as well, because it doesn't allow you to send money to numerous people at the same time. So if you take that same concept and apply it to land registration, you have a very beautiful business model. So just comparing fiat to digital currency, fiat, you have a lot of problems. You have hacks, you have people that can print money as much as they want, which devalues your currency without your permission. But with digital currency, you promote trust. By digital currency, I don't mean, I guess, the version that Scotland has introduced to its governance, where there is no limitation on how much can be produced, but in a way that is predetermined, so such as Bitcoin, where inflation is controlled, where things like that is controlled, and you know what kind of network you're getting into. And I guess by having the various Bitcoin or other altcoin platforms, you get to choose which one appeals to you. So if Bitcoin doesn't work anymore, people will move on to the next one. They can easily transfer their wealth into the next. But with currencies that we have now, if you have euros, it's very hard. I mean, you have about 3 or 4 different powerful currencies to choose from, and it's very hard to move across because of all the regulations and all the fees and all the other things that exist in the way. So using this technology, and how does it apply to tools, and how have tools come up from this? So the first one I want to go over is T0, which was developed by Overstock. Sorry, one minute. So Overstock, I spoke to Patrick about a year and a half ago, or just over a year ago, and his concept really blew me away. Patrick is the CEO of Overstock, and he's done really amazing things with Bitcoin. He takes the fees from it and develops Bitcoin technology, and he keeps 10% of all the money that has come through with Bitcoins as a reserve, so it doesn't devalue the currency, it doesn't just straight away swap it to fiat. And when I spoke to him, he had really great concepts, which is currently 0.1% of people know and use Bitcoin. He said wait till that number reaches about 3 to 5%. Then you have a workable model that you can kind of see how it applies to life. At this stage, not many people know about it. And even at this stage, I'm still surprised that, you speak to someone, you ask, what is Bitcoin? And the first thing they answer is that, oh, it's that currency that crashed, or it's that money that's gone really bad and people lost a lot of money. But they don't realize all the technology behind it and how it's going to affect their lives and what it's going to do in the future. So what T0 does, and it's been released, is it removes the ability for stock traders to do naked short selling, which is a great cause for companies to go bankrupt, for people to lose their jobs, and it greatly affects the economy. The other aspect is no insider can do multi-stock selling. So again, if you take the concept of double spending and if you apply it to the stock market or Wall Street, you have a very revolutionary idea, because you prevent a lot of losses, you prevent a lot of fraud, because it affects people's lives, it affects companies, it affects day-to-day economists, and how everything continues forward. So this is a great example of how it's been applied to the Wall Street, and I hope to see more examples of this, to introduce some sort of transparency to the very domain that controls the world's power and wealth. The other one is eCoin. This is my personal favorite, because I guess when I first got into the Bitcoin scene and you have Bitcoin, it's very hard to use it. I mean, first you have to find someone that understands buying Bitcoin, they're not going to be getting ripped off. You know, some people are like, oh, if I give you my cash, they kind of feel like they've been let down, because if they don't understand the concept of it, that's the feeling they get. What eCoin allows you to do, and there are other examples of a Bitcoin-based debit card, and these are the people we are partnered up with BitNation to provide the refugees with a way of being able to access the currency with no central authority. And what they do is, it allows you to forget about the idea of what is Bitcoin and how do I use it, because everyone knows how to use a Visa card or a debit card or any sort of bank card. So if you top this with Bitcoin, you no longer need to learn anything. You just top it up, it becomes normal money, and you continue on spending. Some people may disagree to this concept and say, no, we want to create a Bitcoin-based economy. But until that's possible, this is the best way to go. And another aspect is that it makes Bitcoin ATMs become obsolete, because you spend millions of dollars on facilities and getting authority, permission from authorities to be able to place your ATMs in a lot of different locations. But what this does is bypass that, go to any ATM that already exists. Banks have already paid for it. So you kind of hack into their system and take from it by using Bitcoins. And I think it's a really great platform, and I hope to see where a lot more of these come out to help people kind of come into the Bitcoin scene without their worries or without needing to learn extra things. And it also allows you to bring people into it without needing to learn Bitcoin, as I said. So, you can pay someone in Bitcoin to be like, here's the card. If I pay you in Bitcoin, you can just top it up and use it as cash. So they don't need to go and learn it. They can use their Bitcoin straight away, and it becomes exciting. It's not something they have to go and find someone. I personally really like this, because for me, to find someone was a great deal of pain. And if you're living off Bitcoins, or you're living in a world where your primary income is Bitcoin, it's very